Hi everyone, and welcome to the January update. Sorry it took so long to make another video, but I got a lot of stuff done yesterday, so I have time today to make a video. So in this video we're going to be talking about some of the plants that are in my new grow spaces now. And first off, it's going to be the Stanhopias. They're just divisions from one giant clump that I had to divide because the growths were interweaving with the basket that I was grown in, so the long term it's probably not going to be a good idea just to keep in the original basket. So I decided to divide them out and I ended up with 6. I'm not going to keep all these. It's probably going to be given away in the near future. I just wanted them to establish themselves before I give them away, and they've done really well since I divided them up. Most of them have sported new growths, like this one right here, which didn't have any leaves on their pseudoballs before it dropped off, but it's growing a new one right now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be giving these away somehow. Maybe in the YouTube giveaway. Never done one of those before, but it seems like this will be very fitting. There are no IDs. Whatever it is, I'm sure it'll look really nice. Sitting next to them, or this particular one is the Elsie Love Knot, which at the moment looks really terrible because there are not a lot of viable roots. There was one that was growing for a while but has stopped. It's that one right there. Yeah, the pseudobulbs looks really shriveled, and all the other roots were desiccated. I thought that I might be losing this one, but today, right before I was doing the video, I gave a quick inspection of all my orchids and I saw this little growth that's sprouting. So that's very encouraging, although the growth is growing downwards. So I might have to figure out some sort of way to fix that. Otherwise, it's going to grow into the media, and then, you know, it's probably going to rot. But I will be changing this container out. I don't think it's very practical. It doesn't really have any drainage holes, even though it has a liner, and I've made some drainage holes. But once you put in the outer pot, doesn't really do much. Looks nice, but not very practical. Alright, so moving on to the next shelf. As you can see here, I've placed most of these orchids in white ceramic pots from IKEA, because they were cheap. Because there seems to be a lot of, I have a lot of orchids now, so it looks a little untamely, so I decided to put them all in white pots to make it look more uniform. I think they look nice, sir. Anyways, I want to show you guys this Phalaenopsis amabilis that's variegated. So this particular one had lots of buds developing, but we had that cold snap that was a few weeks back, and it brought down the humidity quite low. I think it was reaching in the 10s or something %. And so I had a lot of problems trying to keep the humidity up, so it ended up bud blasting a lot of the blooms. So that's kind of sad, but there are still some remaining. So the flowers themselves looks kind of generic, but they are kind of small. But they're alright. Let's see what else I can show you. The Phalaenopsis hieroglyphica is developing 2 leaves at the same time. I didn't know that I could do that, but looks like it is. It's doing really well. It's sending out lots of new roots. And as far as I can tell, there's no buds that are developing on the spikes. And right behind it, this is no ID mini Phalaenopsis that I got from IKEA. So it's finally opened all of its bloom, and then it's doing this really cool thing where, I'm going to try to move this out of the way, Yeah, so it's doing this really cool thing where once it finishes opening up all the buds, it starts elongating its spike further, and right now it's adding 2 more buds on it. So the total count now is, I believe, 9, including the new buds. So that would be about the same amount of blooms as the last spike it has. And I want to say that it did the same thing last time, where it developed a limited number of blooms and then it added more. So I don't know if that counts as a sequential bloomer or not, but it's cool. I hope it develops even further, maybe past the 9 bloom mark. It'd be fantastic. But it's really nice. It's my favorite. Alright, so I think that's pretty much it for this shelf. It's a Pathiopedilum, which I think I need to water it because you can hear that the sphagnum moss, it's crunchy. Time to water. Yeah, so the cold snap brought with it dryness. That was not really fun for me because I ended up watering it like every other day or every 2 days just to keep up with the humidity. Alright, so moving down further. So one of the ways that I was increasing the humidity level was to get these trays and fill it up with pebbles and added water to them. So far I don't know if it's really doing anything. At least I'm doing something, I guess. This is the new growth on my LC Mary Ellen Carter Dixie Hummingbird times SLC Final Touch Lemon Chiffon. It's doing well with its new growth. This no ID something, let's see what it was. BLC Dan O'Neill Jubilee. It's not really doing anything. I found some mealy bugs on it a few days ago, so I took care of those. But the pseudobulbs, the old ones here, it's turning this weird brown color. It's not soft and mushy, it's very hard. I don't know, that means it's like depleting its resources to feed the new growths or something. The new growth here is fairly smaller than the other ones. I don't think it's doing really well. I might do a little bit better once it, when spring gets here. But that won't be here for at least a month or so. Let's see. It's no ID Phalaenopsis that's greenish yellowish. I need to repot this because it's still in the original media. Don't think it looks very good. I might need to do that today. I'm kind of afraid of losing it because it was losing quite a bit of leaves in the past few weeks. Yeah, and speaking of repotting, I'll probably need to repot this least favorite orchid as well, just to check out what the root system is like underneath. And it's been probably about a year since I last repotted it, so maybe it needs to be repotted anyways. This is a no ID Phalaenopsis. There's actually 2 of them in the pot. I got this one from raffle at my Orchid Society Christmas meeting. I didn't really like it, but I mean, it's given to me, so might as well take it. It's like a Psychopsis in the back there, not doing anything. It's the Kalihi variety Alba. Hasn't been doing anything for so long. More no ID mini Phalaenopsis, not doing much either. That division from the BC Maikai Louise that I started in waterculture, I've been really bad about watering it, so basically all the roots have died, I think, or shriveling up. I keep forgetting about this guy, but it's still holding on, I guess. I've just put some water in there. Alright, so that's the first grow shout. Alright, so moving on. So the Phalaenopsis gigantea, or yeah, however you say it, it's doing really well since I repotted it. Let me bring it down a little bit. So the new sleeve is bigger than the last one, but it's still smaller than the ones that developed earlier when I first got it. So it's still on its way to recovery, but it's doing much better. I can see roots. new roots developing since I repotted it. So you can see one there. I'm not going to take it out of the pot. It's quite heavy for one hand. That is the Vanda Violacea, looking better. Probably need to start hanging this up so it gives it some room. And we'll see. This is the BLC Marcella Cos Pink Marble. This one is super vigorous. It's setting out all kinds of roots, and there's a new pseudobulb developing very, very quickly. And the 3 orchids that are in the pots here in line are my seedlings from Jewel Orchids. That one was previously in a semi-water culture, but I've taken it out since the roots are growing kind of weird. They grow opposite each other, so it was hard for me to take it in and out of the container that I was living in for me to inspect it. So I just decided to put it in bark media. It's doing well, as you can see the green root tip there. That's the LC Paula Montano Cerulean. Also developing new growths. That is the tropical cheetah. There's 2 new growths on it. It's Catalea Clodobec Candy. There's a new growth that's too small to be recorded, but it's doing not as well as the other, like the tropical cheetah. The tropical cheetah is the one that's doing the best. Some of the leaves are kind of wrinkly because not doing super good with the watering schedule. Sometimes I forget about them for some reason, but I should be doing a lot better now that I have a little more time than usual. And that is the Renthenera Vietnam Mensis. It's not really doing that much. There's like a weird brown spot on one of the leaves right here. It's very slow growing. I don't know if it's because I'm not giving up it enough light or humidity or heat or all the above. But unlike that one, the Christensonia Vietnamica is doing much better. Sporting another leaf, so I can tell all the roots are still developing. I am considering exchanging out the pot to some of the white ceramics here, just to keep everything looking uniform. Moving on to this giant Schomburgia that has stalled again, probably because of the lack of water or moisture. I am planning to get a basket, maybe putting in some media in there and let it hang out there instead. Probably do a lot better there. And 2 of my semi-water culture orchids are doing fantastic. Like this Patinara Walnita Sharp Plum Red. So I don't know if you can see it well. Let's take it down. Yeah, so the new pseudobulbs are growing really well. That's the old pseudobulb, or the previous pseudobulbs, not the newest one. But it's still developing its leaf, so that's really surprising. That is the new pseudobulb, and it is also developing. You can see a new root, and the pseudobulb is getting bigger, so that's cool. So that is the Phalaenopsis Isogo Vivian. That is growing like a weed. I actually left it longer than 2 days, so you can probably say this is more like full water culture. But it loves water. So I'm just leaving it hanging out. See the fantastic variegated roots. Really cool stuff. I don't think there's a new leaf or something. But I may consider switching it to sphagnum moss, just to keep the watering or the humidity or the moisture level constant, rather than, you know, letting it dry out in the semi-water culture part. I don't know. Still deciding. But it's getting a little bit crowded in there in this glass container. It's actually a succulent container, which I thought it was well suited for this purpose. That's my Neostylus sprouting a new leaf. Also need to water it. It's really dry. You can see here the humidity level is only 42%. Usually I try to keep it in the 50s or the 60s, but because of the recent weather, it dropped down to like in the 20s or something in last week. But it's up now. This is the second shelf from the bottom. This one has a little bit more natural light than the others. So I place most of my orchids that has higher light requirements in here, like this BC Maikai. New grows everywhere. This is the no ID, or the orchid with the wrong ID, I think. It's a sort of bifoliate cattleya. Nothing really note here, just a lot of new growth. Yeah, and this is the Motacia estrelita. This is one of the more developed new pseudobulb. It also needs a watering because you can see how dry it is. Alright, moving down. So, we're right at the bottom on this grow shelf, and there is a heater vent right there, which dries out quite a bit of of moisture in this room. So again, I placed a humidity tray, but the plants here seems to be okay. Like the community pot for the 3 giant no ID Phalaenopsis, and this LC Sheila Lauterbach Ecolab finally put out a new growth right there. And I have some other plants that are not orchids sitting here as well. Let me show you guys what they are. I just repotted these into clay pots. They were kind of in a plastic pot before. That was way overpotted. I think my mom did that. But this is a, I'm not going to try to pronounce the proper name, but it's the Barbados cherry. And I got this particular plant because I remember it from childhood that my grandparents had 2 ginormous trees in the front yard. They have a very distinct tart flavor, but yeah, they're cool. And this plant that's not doing so well is a gardenia. Here's the tag for it. Sorry, it's kind of dirty. Jasmine nodes, Fortuniana. Yeah, it's not looking so well. I think I wasn't paying attention to it. And right behind it is a fig. Little fig tree. This one particular one is kind of unique that it develops fruit very early on. It actually came with 2 figs on top right there, but I think it went to dormancy or something, and then it just dried out. Also, the leaves fell off as well. So yeah. Alright, so that's my grow space in my, I don't know what to call this, I guess hobby room or something. Yeah, this is my extra bedroom. I'm not doing anything else with it except to house these 2 shelves and random stuff, but yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna end this update here for part 1 because it's probably gonna take a little bit of time for the other areas as well, so I'm gonna do multiple parts. But yeah, I'll see you guys in part 2. Bye.